Hey folks, Matt Sharp here with another Pacific Angler Friday Fishing Report. We're filming for the back end of January, so it's nowhere near the back end of January. Click up here. This is a link to all the Friday Fishing Reports. We do them most weeks, so I should have something more up to date for you. What have I got for you this week? Well, for the guys and girls that love steelheading and or egg eaters in the winter, we've all been a little bit depressed. Why? Because it's been low and clear, and low and clear is the kiss of death for the egg eaters, especially because there's no eggs coming down the river and their metabolism shut right down. And it also makes steelheading darn hard. Why? Because the fish can see everything. They can see you, they can see your float, they can see your leader, they can see your hooks, they can see your presentation that isn't quite right. And oh, by the way, they aren't moving. They are holding in weird, tough spots where they can have cover. So the whole game is just more challenging. Now, came up with an article last week, which I'd really encourage you all to read. I actually think I should do a video on it because there's some nuance to it that I maybe didn't include in the article, but it's about how good anglers go out and they don't catch fish, but they make that time count. And bad anglers go out and they throw up their hands and they say, fishing, not catching, and they kind of give up. And I'm going to talk you guys through a couple of those hits there, and I do believe a new video is coming out next week on that, so make sure you stay tuned. Now, we're also going to talk about a couple new products. Came through the shop, some really cool stuff, some stuff for the fly tires, some stuff for the center pin guys and girls. And lastly, we're going to go over the weather in detail. Why? Because the weather is going to affect that low and clear water we were talking about, and I wish I had better news. I got better news than I had 2 weeks ago. We do have some precipitation in the forecast, but the question is, will it be enough, and will the nighttime temperatures be warm enough for that to actually bump the rivers up? My gut, just looked at it before this report, is maybe, but we got to talk about it. All right, as always, you want to see more fishing reports like this, consider hitting the like button, hit the subscribe button. Let's get into it. All right, everybody, cheers to Friday. Thank you for tuning in with me. We've got a good one, not a great one. I wish it could be better. I wish the weather that I saw 3 or 4 days ago was actually coming, and we're gonna start off right there. Why? Because I know that's what everybody is tuning in for if they are a steelhead angler or an egg eater angler. And so Vancouver, when we look at it, right as you guys are watching this, we are getting rain. 10 millimeters, and then the after 10 to 15. That's good news. That is enough to start moving the rivers. With temperatures of 4 degrees and then 1 degree overnight, we'll probably see a slight rise in the rivers, but not a color up or blowout. We actually want a color up. I don't think we're going to get that for the local Vancouver scene. When we throw it out to Chilliwack, it's a little bit worse, and I know a lot of you guys and girls are looking that direction, but we're having nighttime temperatures well into the negatives. Friday, as you see it, it's 3 coming in, and we're going to get 20 mils and 10 to 15. We want to wake up. When you guys are watching this report, fire up BC river levels and see if that river is spiking. If it is spiking, get out and go fishing over the next little bit. Why? Because on Saturday and Sunday, they're predicting snow and very cold nighttime temperatures Saturday night and Sunday night. And so if there's any little bump in water levels, the fish will start moving around, but I don't think the precipitation, which is like 1 centimeter to 5 centimeters, 5 to 10 centimeters, so a pretty big dump overnight into Sunday of snow, is going to do anything to the river, and it's going to be right back down to cool and cold. And then nighttime on Monday is going to be -7. So that's one of the colder days I've seen right into Tuesday, right into Wednesday. If we push it out into the next week, it looks like we're in for a pretty cold, snowy set. There is precipitation on the board, so we'll have to watch it closely, because if one of these days turns warm, we could see that river bump up. I think the river will be better than it was the last 2.5 to 3 weeks, but I think it's going to be cold. I think it's going to be snowy. Nothing better than hiking a river in the snow. It's actually pretty cool. And if today, as you guys are watching this, you see a spike on the water levels, it's go time, but it's going to be a brief window. Okay, let's look at Squamish, because they're not getting as much snow, but they're also seeing that as well. They are looking at 25 to 35 millimeters today, and that could be enough to move the water depending on that snow level. And it's low. So we're going to roll into 10 centimeters on Saturday. So both places, bring your shovels, be careful, bring your chains if you're going out. But I love actually fishing in the snow. I've had some good days where the river's sort of bumped up. It's snow, it's calm, it's cool. The fish seem to sort of think like the river's going to bump up, but it usually doesn't come. So anyway, it's a better report, at least for the fish turning on, than it was for the last 4 weeks in a row. There's some safety concerns. Make sure your cars are equipped with snow shovels, with chains, if you're going up onto those dirt roads, onto upper rivers. But I'd actually recommend, if you can be safe and get out this weekend, it's better than the last couple that I've seen on the board. Okay, let's talk some fun products, because I had some cool ones that I dropped that I wanted you guys to look at. And the first one is this guy. Pulled it off my desk back there, and this is simple. It is just a hook/bead organizer. I'll show it up there so you guys can see it. Our buddy Justin makes these. He's one of our most prolific custom tires at the store. He really has an attention to detail and can pump out great lake patterns, great steelhead patterns, high volume, but high quality. So his chronomids are a 10 out of 10. His leeches are amazing, and you're not going to get those custom patterns from a commercial unit. They're just not going to get it right. So Justin does that for us. You've probably seen his patterns all over British Columbia, but he's also a woodworker. He's been playing around with it. And last year he came to the shop and said, hey, I got these cool cups for you guys as gifts. And he gave them out to the staff. He's given them out to a bunch of my friends in the industry as well. And all of us were like, whatever, Justin, we'll just like, that's cool. Thank you so much. Put it on your fly tying bench. And there it went on mine. Within 2 weeks of tying with it, I can't live without this thing on my desk. Why? I stage my beads in it, and you can just reach in, dip out a bead instead of have beads rolling all over the place. You've got a dumping spot that's small, easy, and then really easy to pull out of. As I pull out a clump of hooks, pull something out, back it goes. And so anyway, all the staff, we met up about a month later and we're like, they're really cool. They work. We should bring those in. And before, this is the original version, and so Justin had an idea. He's like, for hooks, they're kind of hard and they kind of move around and you tilt one of these over. So he put a rare earth magnet inside the new editions of these. Now, it doesn't work for beads, unfortunately. However, for hooks, they stick perfectly. And so Justin's got one coming for me. I'm paying for it this time because I definitely want it. And I'm going to have a bead bin and a hook bin on the extremely messy desk over there. And it just makes your workflow much easier. Now, other products you might have seen from us, we have got a big shipment of kingpin reels. So if you center pin guys and girls, if you're looking for a cool new color, we got some interesting colors. This burgundy/dark purple, whatever you want to call it, just came in. I thought it looked cool, something we hadn't carried before. So again, if you're looking for a center pin, we've got stock right now, and center pins are funny. They're in or they're out of stock, and you can't always get them when you want them. So come on down, give them a spin, or check them out online. Both this guy and the center pins are online. Links in the description, super easy. You'll be able to get them there. So let's get into the scouting. I'm going to do a video on this, I think. I've had a whole bunch of people be like, yeah, we need more of that. But I want you guys to look at last week's report. There's a top 5 tips for dealing with days where you don't catch fish. Now, I'm going to talk more in detail about it, but I want you guys to more take away the mentality. When we're dealing with bad conditions, when we're out fishing in the winter's not the best time to go fishing. It can have moments of brilliance, but you have to be a really good angler to play that fiddle, so to say, and find them. But the guys and girls that are successful are the ones that go out and make the time not catching fish count. If you sometimes get depressed out there when you're not catching fish, you give up early, or you just find yourself flogging the water in the back of your head going, I don't have a chance in hell. This article is designed to give you some strategies and things to do when that is happening that are going to pay dividends in the future when things will happen. And so check that out. And I've already had a bunch of comments. I think I'm going to do it, but comments down below if you've read that article and you want maybe more details on that. Just want to gauge whether it's something you guys and girls would be interested. Now, the other article this week is an article on spey fishing. A lot of folks want to get into spey fishing. This is not for you advanced spey guys. Tune out. But if you've been like, I want to get a spey rod, and you think you've got a strategy on that, I want you to take a look at this article. Why? Because you might not need one. And a lot of folks get a spey rod and don't need it and have no clue what it's actually good for. Flip it around, I'm going to show you where a spey rod is amazing and where in your angling it might be the perfect thing for you. We're going to look at what not to do with a spey rod and what to do with a spey rod, and hopefully it will help those getting into spey fishing make the right decisions so they don't end up buying the wrong thing and then having to rebuy it, or just buying the wrong thing sucking at spey casting, pardon the word sucking. I know some of you don't like that in the comments, but there's no better way to describe it when someone is struggling through something and just can't learn. But having that learning problem because they bought the wrong thing. All right. As always, written description down below is going to have links to the written report. And if I've got that video on the scouting up, I'll link that up here. And as always, you want to see more reports like this, considering the like button, hit the subscribe button. I'm going to catch you in 2 weeks.